as he seeks to broker an end to the Russia-Ukraine war. President Trump says he could meet with Russian President Putin as soon as next week. We know Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff recently met with Putin in Moscow. Trump saying there had been great progress made in that meeting.
All right, as we pivot here, Hal, secondary sanctions are still expected to be imposed on Friday against Moscow. But given the developments today, what do you think the mood is across Eastern Europe tonight?
Well, what I'm hearing, generally speaking, is they expect the secondary sanctions to get kicked in. They'll become a surprise if anything could happen fast enough to stop that from happening, just because we're within like a couple of days of that occurring. However, very successful. You know, I think everyone's sitting there looking at today saying, well, maybe there's some progress. And I think it takes something of such a momentous thing as secondary sanctions, where it threatens the Russian economy, their ability to basically pay for war, to get Putin to the table. So I think maybe cautiously hopeful, but I think very skeptical that this is going to achieve any sort of breakthrough.
Well, the president intends to meet, in his words, very soon with Putin. He's also had 2 calls with Ukraine's Zelenskyy this week, as you know. Trump saying today he spoke with our European allies. Of course, everyone agrees this war must come to a close. That's what Europe is saying. After more than 3 years, is it a possibility in your mind, Hal? And if so, on what terms?
Well, if there is a possibility, I think it'd have to be an immediate ceasefire. It'd have to be the terms that we put forward out there, which is basically stop where you are. That is not what Putin wants. In fact, Putin, if he stops the war where it is, he's got huge political problems back home, because he's lost over 1 million men, not to mention all the material, the tanks, everything else, the tremendous expenditures, an economy that's facing stagflation, and not to mention a recession going into possible depression. He's got huge problems, and he has to show some sort of success. You know, when things change in Russia, they tend to change very quickly, and he knows that quite well.
So good to see you, Hal. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Retired Marine Intelligence Officer Hal Kempfer, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Micah.
Thank you, Hal.